That's what I like to hear.
10 minutes late. Let's get going now. Welcome to IDW's Chaos and Beyond panel, and I also like to think of this as Andy Shcmidt's roast/wake, because this is Andy's last weekend on the job at IDW.
Thank you.
So let me introduce everybody before we get going. So I'm Chris Ryall. I'm the Chief Creative Officer of IDW. Andy Shcmidt, as I say, is our outgoing senior editor who's been steering G.I. Joe and Transformers the last few years. Now let's hear it for Andy and the job he's done. One of the many good things that Andy's done is he brought in Mike Costa to handle not only the Cobra series, first with Christos Gage and now by himself, as well as the Transformers series. So Mike Costa. Next to Mike is a guy you're going to be seeing a lot of coming up in Chaos, and that is artist Livio Ramondelli. Livio. The great Flint Dille. And then down at the end is Chris Metzen, who is the architect and world builder and creative director of World of Warcraft. And we will certainly get into why people like Flint and Chris are up here on the panel, but first let's turn over to Andy to run through one last time all the plans he's developed here that we can easily scrap on Monday as we get into what the Chaos event is that we've been building to.
Thanks for the applause, guys. I appreciate that. It's been really awesome working on Transformers. It's been a dream come true for me to be able to work on Transformers. So it's kind of sad. Getting a little choked up here. But I appreciate everybody who's buying the books, reading the books, giving us feedback on the books. And those of you who've been silent but still reading, I appreciate you too. So let's get into some content here. This is the Transformers panel. Right, moving right along. So, starting in July, we've got Chaos coming up. Chaos is the name of the overall event that spans starting in issue 21 of the ongoing series. Transformers goes essentially bi-weekly, two issues a month, through December. So it runs from issue 21 through issue 125, which makes perfect sense. And we'll get to that in a minute. So it actually goes 21 through 31, and then the next issue after 31 is 125. We announced that back at WonderCon. We've got a little bit more information we're going to give you about what Transformers number 125 is coming up here. But Chaos is sort of the battle for Cybertron. It's the easiest way to talk about it. And we're just going to show you some of Livio's art. These are a couple of his covers. And he's doing his storyline. The 4 issues actually called Chaos. There's another storyline, alternating issues, called The Last Story on Earth, which probably there are people in this room that are a fan of that title at the very least. And the artist on that is Brendan Cahill, and that's one of his covers there, colored by Priscilla. So, Mike, you want to talk a little bit about those 2 arcs?
Well, they're about to start, so I don't want to give too much away, but Chaos is, in particular, is the event that we've been building to technically since before the ongoing even started, though some of the people that wrote, or that started the storylines that led to Chaos probably didn't know that they were leading Chaos. But once you and I took over, that was one of the things that we originally planned. So this is a long time coming, and it's going to resolve a lot of things that were set up even before the ongoing began. It's not going to resolve everything, but it's going to resolve a lot of things. And then the Last Story on Earth is a storyline that's been set up since I took over, and all of the sort of drama and dangling plot lines and some of the alliances between Transformers and humans that some people are fans of and some people aren't, that is all going to come to a head and be resolved in that story as well. So we have 2 major storylines running concurrently that resolve a whole lot of things and set up a big potential future for Transformers, or, I mean, depending on what happens in issue 125, maybe no future at all.
And I think Livio here probably deserves a round of applause because he had not illustrated any other Transformers comics, and we threw him into a Transformers storyline with everyone in it. So please give him a hand.
yeah, you can see like pretty much every issue is just action-packed, and I think they keep getting bigger as the series goes on too. Pretty much every major character's in it, tons of fighting, like really great payoff to everything you guys have been reading, and it's been a blast. Hope you guys like it.
You know, can I just real quick, if you're an aspiring artist, this Livio is a great example of why it's good to just every now and then get a table at Artist Alley or go to a convention and have a presence. Because I discovered Livio just walking by and I saw some of the Transformers drawings that he just did because he was a fan. So I mean, it's really a great way just to expose people to your work. Like Livio's sitting up here now just because he did some great pinups of Transformers without even officially coming to us on these things. So
also, it helps to be as good as Livio. That's awesome.
So just a couple more images here. Double-page spread by Livio, featuring that guy in red.
Yeah, if you guys are fans of double-page spreads, Chaos is the book for you. Yeah. There is at least one per issue.
And this is Brendan Cahill's art. He couldn't be here this weekend, but he's doing the last story on Earth. Mike, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on there?
Yeah, so some of you guys probably know this and others may not, but like Amy said, we're double shipping all through the summer into December, so all through the summer and the fall, and we're alternating Chaos and Last Story on Earth. It sounds confusing, but it's not really going to be, because the Last Story on Earth takes place on Earth, and Chaos takes place entirely on Cybertron. So they're two distinct stories that are very easy to follow. Last Story on Earth, like I said, is about basically about the relationship between Prowl and his adopted home Earth, and by extension the relationship between Prowl and Spike, which is a strained relationship. There are two guys that sort of ruthlessly go after what they want in different ways, and that's going to lead to some serious conflict that, well, the resolution might not be entirely what people expect it to be. But we have two people who are ostensibly on the side of good, but are both sort of morally compromised in their way, looking at each other across this weird divide, Transformer versus human, and I can't give too much away, but it's going to be a storyline that a lot of people really like, especially people who are wondering where this whole Transformers, align with humans thing is going. Some people haven't been fans of that. Those people will be fans of this story.
Yeah, all right. So there's another writer who's working on the Chaos event, also who couldn't be here because he lives about 6,000 miles away. His name is James Roberts. Someone here has heard of him. He's awesome. He and I we have gone back and forth on all these different projects. We finally found some stuff that just keys him in. I just didn't want to give him, a sort of like a random spotlight issue here, or if he was going to come back, I wanted him to come back and tell really important stories that were vital to what's going on in the books. He's actually writing issues 22 and 23, which come out in July and August. And those are called Chaos Theory. They really get into the backstory of Optimus Prime and Megatron, touches on stuff from Megatron Origin, really fantastic stuff. And then he's been co-writing the Chaos arc with Mike. The story is primarily from Mike, but James has been involved in it. And
James contributed a lot of little details that, on a whole, make the story about 10 times better. I had the basic sort of outline for the story, and then we brought in James. We actually involved Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning at the very beginning to discuss them, because they wrote a previous miniseries called Heart of Darkness that leads directly into Chaos, and they had tons of great ideas. So really, Chaos is a big collaboration. I'm the guy writing the scripts, but James has been invaluable. He looks at every script before it goes in, and he writes. I leave certain scenes for him to write because they're characters that he knows better than me, and we're using ideas that were set up by Dan and Andy. So Chaos really is, it's not only the culmination of a lot of storylines, it's also the culmination of a lot of different people collaborating on it, which I think makes it bigger and better.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So for those of you who have been wanting James to write more since Last Stand of the Records, you are getting your daily dose of Roberts. Also, I'd like to point out that I was a huge fan of Transformers as a kid, the comics and the cartoon and the toys, of course, and I'm currently sitting on a panel with Flint, Dille. Just wanted to point that out.
I thought we were talking about
We're still alive. We're not talking about that. That's all about me. And here's your Chaos checklist, which is being printed in the back of all the Transformers comics. You know you have something very simple when you have to put a checklist together. So it runs about 12 issues, and you can see the checklist starting with 21, and ending with number 31 is the Chaos epilogue, and then we go to Transformers number 125. Have you guys heard about 125, that we were doing that? Seen any speculation about what that might be? Yeah? No?
There's some notes.
No one. Okay. Nobody cares about it. So we'll skip over the announcement about Transformers 125 now, if you guys don't care. All right. So Transformers number 125, which is going to be our last issue of the year, is going to be written by John Barber and James Roberts, and illustrated by Nick Roche. We are giving the title of this issue, Chris. That's a good suggestion. For those of you who don't know, John Barber has been the writer on the movie universe titles for the last year and a half, starting with the Sector 7 story arc, and then he wrote both of the movie prequels and the movie adaptation for Dark of the Moon. He's been doing stellar work, just seamlessly weaving in and out of that continuity in ways that are stunning. So if you haven't been reading those books, and you're interested to see what Transformers 125 might look like, you should check those out. They are available at the IDW booth currently. And if you have gotten the trade of the Dark of the Moon adaptation, you might want to still pick up the single issues, which go on sale this week. And we have the BotCon exclusive of issue 1, because they have a bonus prose story in the back of each issue, written by John, that is part of that continuity as well. That was not in the trade collection. Title of Transformers number 125. And I quit. All right. Next announcement.
Flint just said, I've been there.
That's my life.
All right, so we do have one more announcement for a project that's going to be starting in January. How many of you have an iPhone, a BlackBerry, iPad, anything like that? Do you ever read comics on it?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, you're going to keep reading comics on it then. Starting in January, we'll be launching a project that will be digital only. There will be no print edition to go along with it, called Autocracy. And the creative team behind that is written by Chris Metzen and Flint, Dille. With, come on, art by Livio. That is a part of the IDW universe, for lack of a better term for it, so it does fit in with this stuff. You guys want to talk?
Yeah.
A little bit about it?
Yeah, I'll hand it over to Chris.
Just ask Flint if you wanted to talk.
No, it was really cool. So Chris and I were working on this game Diablo, which you got to get. It's coming out soon. But anyway, so we're working on that. And meanwhile, we started talking about Transformers. It was